Today, we're excited to welcome Lisa Morton, a Feng Shui master teacher and intuitive designer who has more than 20 years of experience helping people create homes that feel better, lighter, and more supportive of the lives they want to live. Lisa combines Feng Shui, design, intuition, and energy to show us how the spaces around us can actually affect how we feel and function every day. She is also a certified Reiki master, the author of Aligned at Home, and the host of the Feng Shui Living podcast. We're going to talk today about the energy in our homes, how clutter and our surroundings affect us, and some simple ways we can create spaces that feel more peaceful, balanced, and aligned. We are so happy to have you here today, Lisa. Welcome.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
it's
so
gonna be
much that
fun.
you do and so much intuition that goes into this. And I'm wondering when you walk into a space, especially a bedroom, if you're redesigning someone's bedroom or consulting them on how to change um, the space in their bedroom, when you do that, how do you work with your energy? How important is the bedroom in the home? And do you let the space speak to you?
Mm.
Mm.
The bedroom is so important. First and foremost, we often think of the bedroom as just the place we land at the end of the day, right? We're just going to sleep. And some people just think of it as, oh, that's the last place I'm going to worry about. Nobody sees it. But it's so important. We know if we don't sleep, if we don't get good quality sleep, we're not our best version the next day. We're cranky, we're tired, I'm hungry all day, right? Maybe irritable. And we're not functioning, we're not clear-headed. When we can get good sleep, life just feels better. So why not do a few things just to bring in a little more peace and rest and rejuvenation for your body? So it's so important. When I go into spaces, I recently was talking to someone, actually, I think it was on my own podcast. I was explaining that I read homes, and it's kind of like when a doctor reads an x-ray, right? To me, it's black and white blobs on a film, and it means nothing, right? But to him, he sees all these things going on in your
Mhm.
body, a broken bone, something, right? And that's kind of how I go about reading homes, right? I have a background in interior design. I did traditional design for quite some time and then got into this holistic approach, started studying feng shui, doing more energy work and going down that path. So it's really, my work is kind of this overall collaboration of all these different things. Um, but my favorite place is to work in the bedroom because there are quick and easy things you can do. I mean, just starting by looking at the paint color on the wall. Is it supporting you or is it not? Right? We go into a fast food restaurant and it's bright yellows and oranges and it lifts our energy, right? We don't want that in our room. We want more the spa feeling. Calm, quiet colors, soft blues, soft greens, maybe a pale blush pink, or a lot of earth tones, beige, tan, brown, earth elements in our space. That's just a great place to start. I found this work after going through my own burnout many years ago. I had this amazing job designing private jet interiors
Wow.
for a company. It was
Wow.
great. I was traveling the world, meeting outrageous people, and boy, these interiors were really fun, but I hit burnout. And so fast forward, I use these things to heal my own body to help myself feel better and be able to go about my day. And it was mind-boggling when I started looking at my sleep because sleep had been really hard for me. And when I look back, when I was going through that most difficult time in my life, I was stressed, I was anxious, I was having panic attacks.
Mm.
I was sleeping with a red headboard.
Oh.
It was a really great fabric. It was a really great fabric. I'd made this headboard. Had this tufted design. It was really fun. And I had recently gotten married. And so I'm like, oh, red, it's like love and passion, right? No, it was causing more stress, more sleepless nights.
Wow.
It's just kind of a quick example of how the color alone can affect your body.
I know that in the 80s, the light color of gray was very popular, and then it
Mm.
fell off. And over the last few years, it's made a comeback.
Mhm.
What about the light color gray for a bedroom?
Gray so gray is a metal element. We have the five element system: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And metal is great when you want to bring in focus. Like if you have a deadline, I love gray for an office because if you have a deadline and you need precision, that's great. I like a little more softness in the bedroom. I wouldn't say don't do gray, a pale gray, but I might say if you're going to do pale gray, bring in some other colors, some natural, maybe a chocolate brown or a beige or a soft green could be a nice complement to that. So it's not about having one specific color. Sometimes it's about blending and getting the right elements for what our bodies need.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah, the color of my bedroom walls is this color, and I don't know if the lighting is doing it justice, but it's
Like
like
a
a
beige
almost like a
tan.
khaki
Nice.
color, and I love the color. I'm just it for me it's the arranging. So okay, so I moved into a 770 square foot house, two bedroom, 1.5 bath. So it's very tiny. And I came from a 1,700 square foot house in Florida. So I've had to downsize a lot. And there are certain things that I don't want to get rid of, but storage is a big issue for me because I have stuff that I don't want to get rid of and I need a place to put it. So my bedroom has become way too cluttered, I think. Not cluttered as in lots of stuff laying around, but I mean, just too many pieces
Mm-hmm.
and trying to rearrange. I just spent the last couple of days trying to rearrange my bedroom and I'm just not loving it. So, um, just moving stuff around and trying to make it because I have a bathroom, a half bath in my bedroom too. So
Okay.
I'm trying to make a clean walk from the door to the bathroom without having to walk around stuff. I'm not a hoarder, by the way. Just,
When
just
you're
throwing that out
downsizing
there.
that much, guys, when you're downsizing that much, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
big thing, especially if you have things you love, but be mindful in the bedroom of what you're storing, especially under the bed.
Mm.
Everyone thinks under the bed is just, hey, let's shove stuff under there because it's empty space. Why not, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
here's a story. I worked with a woman who was struggling with sleep. And I walked in, we talked, and we explored a few different things and talked about her bedroom. And I said, okay, can I look under your bed? She said, yeah, there's just some books under there and some photos. And so I was like, well, let's peek. Let's talk about it. So she pulled out the boxes of things and she had a stack of books to read. And then she had a box of photos that she wanted to put in a photo album, but she hadn't gotten around to it. So she's literally sleeping 8 hours, hopefully 8 hours a night, on top of a to-do list, right? So
Wow.
consciously,
Oh.
he's not thinking about it, but subconsciously, I would say it's like your
Yeah.
phone pinging you, right? To-do list, to-do list. You can't sleep. You have a to-do list to do, man.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
recommend nothing under your bed. And here's my thing. I tell all my clients, give it 6 weeks. You may be like, oh, Lisa's making me so angry by making me do this. Just give me 6 weeks. If you don't like it, you move it back. It's your home. But I think you will become much more rested and just feel more rejuvenated.
Wow. So I have drawers under my bed
Mm-hmm.
that I have extra towels, extra sheets.
Okay.
things like that. So I don't
I
have a
think just
to-do
be really
list.
mindful. Like
Yeah.
during the winter months, I'll keep an extra blanket under my bed, but make sure there's nothing, those jeans that you're hoping to fit into someday,
Oh,
or
right.
some
Yeah.
family memorabilia that has connections, and really slow down and think, is there an emotional component to this? Or is it really just a blanket for extra storage? Right? So
Ooh.
really slow down and think about it.
So I just thought of something. So I
Go for
have
it.
my grandmother's old trunk, and it belonged to my mother for many years, and then I got it from my mother. My mother and I did not have a good relationship, and she passed in May. So
Okay.
I have this trunk, and it's sitting in my bedroom. It's actually in my closet, but it's still in my bedroom. And it's and when I see the trunk, I think of my mother. I got to get that trunk out of here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
just
trunk
worked
needs
with
to
a
go.
woman. I just worked with a woman, and we started working together back in 2011. And it all started, she'd called me because she was struggling. She wanted a new job and was ready to relocate and all this, that, and the other, and move on with her life after a divorce and stuff. And she had this box of paperwork that was her dad's, and her dad had passed about a year prior. It's just paperwork she had to go through, but she didn't want to do it. So it kind of went in the corner. And then she's like, oh, I'm just so frustrated by seeing it that I put it in the basement. Well, then it got to be every time she'd walk by that basement door, she'd kind of have that feeling like, "Ugh, I don't want to go in the basement because the box is down there and I'm going to have to deal with the box." So there was just a lot of, she had to have a lot of compassion for herself. And also, um, I convinced her to go through the box, with support of her family, and to go through it and take care of it. And she's like, it wasn't that bad. I just had it cooked up in my head. And so by having her clean up the box, get it out of the basement, take care of the paperwork, file it away, it was like 2 weeks later, and she got her job offer and up and moved to a new city, and things just fell into place. And that's
Wow.
often how a lot of this works. So I would experiment with at least moving it out of your bedroom, your closet, and just seeing how you can kind of shift it a bit, maybe smudge it a bit, do something nice. You can think about infusing it with some good energy that might be a little lighter than what it's feeling now.
Yeah, I think I need to just get rid of it. Honestly, and every time I look at it, well, like I said, I think of my mother, but then I also think, and this trunk is over 100 years old.
Wow.
It's really old. Um, but I just there's some I don't know, there's some energy that's
Yeah,
attached to it, and I
I'm
know,
sure.
yeah, and not some good energy. So I just I just think I need to get it out of here completely. So I'm gonna work on that.
And if it's a really cool piece, someone would love to have that and they would
Yeah.
treasure it versus you thinking, oh, I felt like I kind of had to keep it, or just a different perspective.
Hmm. Yeah, give the evil to someone else.
Yeah, it was good. I was just going to say, let your mom haunt
Or
someone
bless it and
else.
then prac let somebody else.
Sorry, Mom.
Maybe refinish. There's so many interesting makers out there that will take
Oh
something
yeah.
old and make it something
Oh yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
cool into a cool piece of furniture. And it's, like I had a client once that was trying to downsize a little bit, and in her coat closet, she had 9 coats. Now, I'm kind of a jacket coat fan myself, so I get it, but she had 9. And I'm like, do you need 9? Do you need 9? That's a lot. What if you had 4? That's still plenty. And then think about the people out there who don't have a coat that you could donate those to. So I think it's sometimes just our perspective in our heads, if we can just kind of like really get grounded and think about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
important is it to make the bed every day?
Oh
Oh, very
gosh.
important. I do it
Yeah.
every day. Oh, you
Yeah,
weren't
that
talking to
sets
me.
the tone for your day. I have this whole um section in my book, and I made up a word. And the word is nestorations. And it's tending to your nest with these sweet little moments, right? So make your bed and then take an extra moment and smooth out the wrinkles. Take an extra moment and fix the trim on the pillow. Don't you have to do this every day? No, but add these little restorations into your day if you can. If you have an extra moment, check in with the flowers in the vase and just fluff them up, add some fresh water. Or maybe if you're just wiping down your counter quickly and getting the crumbs off, slow down. Maybe turn on a pretty song as you're wiping or recite a mantra as you're wiping and like make it a special moment. So I love the just little moments of adding a little more joy and love and just infusing your home with those beautiful types of energy.
There was a thing going around in the 70s that it was much better energetically to be sleeping with your head facing north.
Mm.
Is that still something that's taken into account anymore?
So here's the thing. Are there so many fun, quick tips and things? Yes. That's what my book is mostly about. That's what my podcast is mostly about. You listen for 20 minutes and you can go home and implement things today. That's what I share a lot. There's also another side of this work where we need to dive really deep. So, Annalisa, you might live in a one-story home with a cat and two dogs, and you work from home every day, and you like, I don't know, to grow flowers in your backyard, right? And your goals are XYZ. And Susanna, you might live in a two-story home, with nobody else, and you swim every day, and I mean, we just have different lives, right? Different experiences. So it's so important to look at that and detail and get really deep. What does your family, including your pets, what do they need in your space? And then I look at the surrounding property, even what's going on around. Is there a mountain? Is there a stream? Is there a pond? And we look at that, and then we go into the structure. What's the structure like? And how is it arranged? What directions are we looking at? How do you need to lay out your space best to support your body? Because we can't always remodel our homes just to fit, right? So
Right.
we have to kind of really decipher down how we want to live in our space. And then, I get really deep into goals with clients and a lot of my clients, new clients of mine, I'll ask them their goals and, well, I just want to feel a little bit better. I just wanted to feel really zen. And I'm like, no, what do you really want? Like, what do you want in life? And don't be humble. List it out. If you want a red convertible this year, tell me you want a red convertible. And so then that's how we can get really deep. And so the direction thing, it's kind of a few different things. So we have energetic lines that run throughout the earth, right? North and south. I always say for me, when I'm working with someone, it's more important for me to look at your specific space, how it's arranged, what's going on outside of you, what your bed even looks like. So long answer.
No, that's great. That's great. What if someone has a very small room
Mhm.
and there's really only one place to put the bed? What kind of little things can they do to warm up the room?
That's good.
Mm. Mhm.
We have to have, let's say, a nightstand, a dresser. And so, what kind of suggestions would you have for people that have a small space and just want to warm it up and, they can't really move things around too much?
Sure. I mean, I work with a lot of people in condos, apartments. I've worked with a couple people who are traveling in their RV, right? So we have to get creative. My number one tip is to get things off the floor. So if you live in a snug space, get some shelving, and it can even be very shallow shelving, right? Get things up. Find multiple purposes for things.
Okay.
Maybe an ottoman that could serve as, in a room in a small condo, right? That ottoman could serve as, maybe it's going to be a bedside table. Maybe it's going to be extra seating. Maybe it's where you're going to sit your coffee cup down when you're sitting on the sofa. Like, get really creative like that. I love to layer textures, right?
Mhm.
Chunky woven texture brings in an earth element. It's grounding, it's comforting, it's cozy. So layer in those different textures. A throw across the bottom of the bed and a couple decorative pillows in a, different type of woven design, maybe. Um, so I would say, get things up off the floor, add in the textures, and also think about layering lighting. We have the overhead lights, maybe can lights or an overhead fixture. That's great. But then bring in the other layers. Maybe a reading lamp or a
Mhm.
table lamp or a Himalayan salt lamp or some candles. So really think about different ways to layer in. That's how it creates that warmth. And be mindful of the color temperature of your bulbs as well. We always want them to roughly match so you don't have a cool overhead fixture and then a warm lamp, because that doesn't work. And I always recommend everyone lean into that warm direction. I always call the cool, the hospital glow.
Mm, that's so true.
Yeah, right. That doesn't not make us feel good. So add a little
Mm,
warmth and warm it up. Those are probably my three favorite tips.
So I understand that. I understand that, especially in the home, to have the same
Mm-hmm.
type of mood lighting.
Because it's grasping at your attention, right? Even if it's
Mm-hmm.
slightly different, you're like, what's different in here? Oh, it's the
mhm.
lighting, right? So it's taking away our attention from our families, our loved ones, our hobbies, or whatever we want it to go towards.
I think a really important thing is becoming aware of yourself and how you feel when you walk in a room, and really pay attention to how you feel when you walk in a room,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's at a friend's house. I mean, just become aware of your space and other people's spaces, and feeling that you get.
Mm-hmm. I encourage people to just sit in their room. We
Yeah.
don't do that. Just
Hmm.
just go find your bedroom
Mm.
or your living room or somewhere, and no phones, nothing. Just sit for 3 minutes. What do you hear? What scents are there? And then just, how does your body feel? Are you
Yeah.
able to take a big breath, or are you like, right? Just
Mhm.
kind of tight in your chest. Do you feel fluid and relaxed, or do you feel tense? And just notice your own space, first of all. And you might have an aha moment. Oh gosh, I forgot that artwork was up there. I really don't like that. Right? You might have that.
Yes.
Then also, yes, go to other people's homes, and as you're out and about, notice what makes you feel good. Notice what doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't mean you're judging your friend's house.
Hmm.
It just means you're observing what makes you feel good, what makes you doesn't, what makes you not feel good. And one thing I've been exploring a lot is, I'm more of a minimalist. I like a quiet, still, calm, peaceful home. I have a lot of lavender essential oil and candles and views of nature and natural materials. But I have a good friend who's a maximalist. We're talking fuchsia rug with a green sofa and animal print pillows, and it's super fun, like something you'd see in a magazine. But I know when I go there, I can't be there for long periods of time. It jabs at my nervous system, right? So I know that.
Yeah.
So we'll hang out, and I'm like, what do you say we go get a coffee, right? Just like she probably comes to my house, and she's never said this, but I'm sure she walks in my house and probably thinks it's boring.
Mm.
But it's interesting to explore that, and then add another layer. Think about your childhood. I grew up in a very quiet home. I was home alone a lot.
Mm.
And she grew up in a very chaotic home.
Mm. Mm.
Something to
That's
think about.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also
Yeah.
get into that a lot with husbands and wives, because they can't agree on how they want their home to feel. And so we kind of explore their upbringing and how that felt, and then how can we help everyone feel good?
I
And
get
the what makes you feel good doesn't necessarily match what somebody else feels, right? So it's all
Mm-hmm. So
personal
much.
preference.
I worked with a couple not too long ago, and the husband grew up, his dad was an architect. So really cool, very spotless, pristine home, fantastic artwork, like really beautiful, detailed, pristine home. His wife grew up in more of a chaotic home, and she loves stuff everywhere. She loves stuff everywhere, right? And so for him, he was being pinged by all of her stuff. But she's like, well, I just like it available. I want it right at hand. I want my craft right at hand. I want my essential oils right there, right? So we had to come up with this happy medium to calm his nervous system, yet help her have items right at hand. So we did a lot of containers, right, with closed edges, right? Bins that he didn't have to see 50 bottles of essential oils. He just saw a bin, right? But she could still have access to it. We tweaked some of the wall colors. They had a lot of accent walls, right? It was too much stimulation for him, so we had to reduce some of the accent walls. It was also too high of a sheen. They didn't have children or pets, so we did more of a flat paint color finish that
mm,
also would help bring his nervous system down.
mm.
So you got to get a little creative with couples, but we want everyone feeling good at home. It's so important.
Yeah. Tell us about your book, Lisa.
Oh my gosh. I published my book last November.
Congrats.
Um, Thanks. It was my first time writing. I loved writing it. It's called Aligned at Home. And it it's really a book I'd wanted to write for a very long time. I remember I did my first Feng Shui training back in 2010. And I remember that time and leading up to it, I was reading some books. And I would read one book and it was interesting. Okay. And then I would read another book and then I was confused. And then I'd read another book and I'm like, wait a minute, this book said to do it differently. I was so thoroughly confused. So my point of my book was to help explain some of that. You know, just like anything. Feng Shui, it's over 4,000 years old. And it is morphed and shifted into different schools or sects. I compare it to yoga, right? There's hatha, there's vinyasa, there's ashtanga yoga, right? And it's the
Mhm.
same with feng shui. And there might be a different focus or a different approach to things. Of course, the goal is always the same, to bring harmony and balance into your home. But we need to know that there are these different approaches. So there isn't just one ideal way to do it. The best way is to find the approach that works for you. So mine is very grounded. I love employing feng shui, using color psychology, using a holistic approach to interior design because I have that design background. I want it to feel good. I also want it to look great, right? Because we deserve spaces that just look great, feel great, have those things around us that we really love. So that's really my approach. And also just a lot of intuition. I think that's important for me to read the space and also for you to realize, what do you really need in your space?
I get tired.
Eh, Go ahead.
I get
Yeah.
tired of my spaces every couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and I just get in a mood where I have to change the color. So I just get the roller out and paint it a different color.
Wow.
Good for
Um,
you. That's
and,
great.
and there are times when I get in that mood that where things have to change, or maybe I can rearrange things. But if I do a really deep clean,
Mm.
that it feels so much better,
Hmm.
feels so much lighter. And
Hmm.
we have a dog, we have a Great Dane. So a lot of the furniture needs to be covered up because of the jowls and
I have two English Mastiffs, so I
oh
know
my
what you're talking
gosh,
about.
yeah, yeah. And I get really tired sometimes because the house is geared toward him. And I get into these moods where I need to take my house back,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? And so I get in these moods and where I have to change things, paint, clean, and then it's wonderful for a while. And then it just kind of gets back into that,
Well, it's just
you
stirring
know.
things up. I think it's
Mhm,
good to go through every quarter. I do an energy clearing of my home. If you don't want to do that, you can just go and move things around, right?
mhm.
Maybe take things from one shelf and swap it to the other shelf. And by doing this, it just stirs up energy and gets energy moving,
That's
and then
right.
it settles a bit again, right?
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
refreshing the space. There's an ancient feng shui practice called of moving 27 things. Okay. So you are exactly moving 27 things that will stir up the energy if you're feeling stuck. You're like, I don't know
Mm.
what to do. I'm just feeling stuck in life. I don't know where to go. That's a great practice. So I really encourage my clients to be very mindful when they're doing this and make it a ceremony. If you're going to move your 27 things, maybe write it down in a journal what you're going to do and how you're feeling before, right? And then when you're done, what did you move and how do you feel about it now? And then 6 weeks, how were you feeling? Did it shift the energy in your home and then your life? Just take notice. So it's really fun to do. So next time you're feeling stuck or just I can't handle this, I need something new, move 27 things. And it can be a picture frame from this table to that table. It doesn't have to be
That's
a
a really
total
good idea.
rearrange.
That's a really interesting
It
idea.
Feels
is.
Yeah.
refreshed. It's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going
Wow.
to do that today.
Hmm.
Yes, let me know. Let me know how
Why
it goes.
27 and not like 26? What is the number 27?
Oh,
So
yeah.
27 equals 9 in numerology, which is a number of completion.
Ah,
Which
Yeah,
is
completion. Got it.
what?
Got it.
a number of completion.
Okay.
Kind of bringing it full circle.
Sure.
Got it.
Then we start again at 1 and
Yeah.
yeah.
So is numerology, is that a part of the whole feng shui thing?
Not always.
Yeah.
It's something I personally love to explore with my clients. Um, especially if they're moving. I'll always look into numerology of the home that they were in and maybe what happened and what we can expect going forward. So it's
That's
not
interesting.
everyone gets into that, but I'm kind of one of those like, oh, I'm always curious. So I'm a numerology fan myself. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've always been fascinated with numerology.
Me too.
yeah. So
I
think
had,
about where you were at before and where you're at now, and you can kind of sit and do a little comparison. And yeah, I mean, there's so many other things you can bring into. I mean, I get into color a lot beyond the 5 elements, like really specifying colors and things because of my design background. Some people also bring in astrology, Western astrology, into their work,
mm.
Chinese astrology, right? There's so many different avenues to take this work, and that's what's really fun, and that's what I love. In my book that I kind of explain some of the different things I get into and really being intentional with your home. That's my number one thing. It's not just a box that you crash in at the end of the day or a container to house all of your shoes or whatever you have. It's that beautiful, beautiful space to support you and your body and revive your body and send you out the next day.
Do you have a copy of
Yeah.
your book close by?
Yeah, I
I
was going to
do.
ask that.
Right behind you.
Oh,
Right,
can
right
you
behind me.
kind of put that up to the camera and so
Yeah.
we can get a closer look?
Aligned at home.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that. I had an amazing designer. I loved the entire process. I had a great coach. Her name is Gail Kersner, and her business is the Savvy Red Pen, and she's a writing coach and she's an
Ooh.
editor. And so she kind of held my hand through the whole process because I knew nothing about writing a book.
Mhm.
And then she hooked me up with the designer who did the cover, the interior. Um, if I can find the interior is even really pretty.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very
I'm
nice.
just so pleased with it. Um, kind of has my feel, my vibe. My brand logo is very bright yellow, orangey, pink corally colors, and it has that with a healthy dose. I think it reads feng shui. So yeah, it was just a really great process. Um,
Do you have
and
any
I'm having
pictures in
fun
there?
sharing it. Sorry?
Do you have any pictures in there?
I don't. No, I didn't do any
Just
pictures.
samples?
No, here's the thing. Back when I did traditional design, that's great. That's fun to photograph.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of my clients now, they're not necessarily rooms to photograph.
Okay.
A lot of my clients, while there's a fun side to my work, starting a new business, starting their new family, moving into their new home, there's also the side of very sensitive nature. It's the divorce, the illness, loss of a family member. They're going through
Right.
really heavy, difficult things.
Right.
And I don't feel that's appropriate to photograph, but even
Sure.
if I did, it's not what people would think is interior design, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's laid out to energetically support them. So
Right.
I lean in a little bit of the design direction. So we might arrange the decor on the table, but there's a method, there's a purpose behind it that's much more than just making it pretty.
Sure. Yeah, it's all individualized.
Yeah. So I stopped
Right.
photographing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also feel very
Uh,
protective of my clients' faces,
sure.
and
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm
It's
sure
a
some of them
very
would be fine.
personal and intimate thing that you're doing and coming into
Mhm.
someone's home.
We
And
talk about a lot of, I thought about when I did traditional design, I would talk a lot of serious things with my clients, right? Because
mhm,
we are in their intimate spaces, their bedrooms, their bathrooms, and
sure.
asking, where do you want the toilet paper holder? That's a little personal. But this is a whole nother level. I have a quick story if you're open to it.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah.
I share this in my book, but it was the most impactful moment of my career. I'd been studying this approach to holistic design and feng shui for some time, still doing traditional design, kind of blending it together. And I was just feeling this call to move forward and step away from my traditional design of bathroom remodels and all that and step fully into this feng shui world. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I got this call one day for a client, and it was an initial consultation. I showed up with my tote bag with all my supplies and everything and walk in the house, and we walked through and did a just quick chat for a few minutes as we were walking around and sat down at the dining table. And she looked me in the eyes and said, "Lisa, I'm dying. I need your help setting up my home so that my children and my husband can go on living when I'm gone."
Oh my gosh.
hmm
Ooh.
it was
Wow.
something, and I was not
Wow.
prepared for that. I had to kind of collect myself.
Wow.
Um, and she had been through many rounds of cancer and was just done fighting. And her home had been neglected because she felt awful. Right? It
Yeah.
needed some new carpeting, it needed some new flooring, and it needed some new furniture. Right? So we did this, but we did it with feng shui in mind. Right? She wanted her family to feel grounded and supported. So a lot of earth element, a lot of wood element for renewal because she wanted them to go on living when she once she passed. We also did a really special collage wall of family photos for them to celebrate all the fun they had as a family, and also for them to remember those times when she was gone. And this was one of the most impactful moments of my career for sure. And I remember driving home that day, the first day I met her, and I was just had tears, and I was like, wow, for the universe to put us together, for God to put us together, for, whoever, wow, because I
Mhm.
knew I could help her and she needed my help.
I'm tearing up now listening to
I
this.
know.
Mhm.
So I'm just,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, that's my sign. Keep going forward. So I wrote her about her in my book. I, I call on her all the time. I know she's actually with me, supporting me in my work. So.
I love
Oh,
that.
that's so
Wow.
nice.
I love that.
Wow.
That's cool.
I don't even know what
I
to ask you after that.
well,
That was pretty potent.
I'm just, my mind is just going off on,
I know.
where she is and, the sorry.
I know. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I guess to lighten the mood, I will share if that's okay. My favorite feng shui tip that everybody, you ladies can do today, everybody
Yes.
can do today. Just a little energy reset here. And this is easy. I want you to go outside, take a couple breaths, maybe walk around the block. No phones or anything, just walk around, just reset your brain, reset your body. And then when you come back, I want you to walk in through your front door. In feng shui, this is considered the mouth of qi. This is where energy comes into our door and into our home. So walk in through the front door and just pretend that you've never been there before.
mm-mm.
Pretend that this is a brand new home and just see what you notice. Sometimes it can be wild. Like, I didn't realize there was a dead plant next to my front door right when I walk inside, or why would I hang that art so high? Or even just, this room doesn't represent me anymore. It's time for a reset. So just go in and do a little walkthrough completely as a guest. And if you start moving into that judgment zone of I should clear that out, take a breath, reset. You're the guest. Because we don't do that in our homes. We go into a hotel or maybe a friend's home and you walk through and you're like, wow, that art's really great. Look at that pottery collection, or look at that design on the carpet. But we're just so used to being in our homes. So when we can slow down and walk through as a guest, it's eye-opening.
That is so
Wow.
true because once you've been living with something, you don't see it anymore.
I used to be this person that I loved all kinds of scented candles. And I had a lot of scented candles, and I went through this phase and I was like, okay, fragrance free, right? And now you walk into my house and you smell lavender essential oil, right? I was like, okay, a reset, right? So when people come in, they're not smelling these heavy scented candles, they're smelling light lavender.
Yeah,
So just how do you choose
right,
to have people,
right.
there's this whole thing in scent. I teach a feng shui basics class and an interior design class, and we get into all kinds of stuff like this. But there's a trend in a lot of hotels, excuse me, called scent branding. And
Mm.
there are certain hotels you walk in and there's a scent and they're pumping it through. So you walk in and you recognize it. Well, how, not telling you to pump in all kinds of chemical scents in your home, but how do you want people to walk in and experience your home as a guest? Maybe a certain scent or a certain sound. Sound is also a great way. Maybe some beautiful classical music, or do you always play some fun pop music in the background or jazz? How do you want your home to be experienced by your guests? It's
Right.
another fun way.
Now, the smell thing, I know that has been around for companies, like when you walk into a
Right.
store and they have certain scents to trigger memories,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's chocolate chip cookies or this or
Yes.
that, and to get you to buy more.
Yes.
You go
Yes.
to Vegas and the lights are on 24/7, so you can't tell if it's light or dark outside because they keep playing.
Just keep spending money.
Just
They
keep
do,
just
they
dropping
do.
those coins.
Yeah. But that's a great example. I talk
Yeah.
a lot about color psychology, and right, if we need that those casinos to be bright and music and cha-chings going on and
Hmm.
action and all this stuff. And we need a spa, right? For it to work, and it would be very yang versus very yin. A spa would be very yin and quiet and peaceful. Like if you went in a casino and it was beige and there was classical music playing, it would be so boring. And the same with the
I don't want
spa.
to
If
play.
there was crazy rock music going
Yeah.
and somebody jackhammering next door,
No.
you're not going to have the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now, do you do these your work? Can you do this virtually as well?
actually 90. 8% of my work is all virtual. So I get to
Oh,
work with
really?
clients all over the world, which is fun.
Nice.
It kind of
Wow.
goes back to I was talking about the doctor's x-rays, right? I can't read what they're, but when I even just look at photos of your home, it just makes a lot of sense pretty quickly. I've just done it for long enough, and so I can do a lot with photos. Sometimes we'll do a video walkthrough, we'll do a couple Zoom calls. And so it's mind-boggling just what your floor plan says about your life and if it's supporting you or not. Um, this sounds a little wild and might be hard for some people to wrap their head around, but I can look at your floor plan and roughly be like, they're struggling financially. There's struggle here going on here, or their relationships are not working for them, or their health is struggling. I just worked not too long ago with a gentleman who had a really cool top floor condo in Miami, and it was really cool, overlooking the water. Gosh, how cool. Well,
Wow.
I looked at it and it was actually a weird triangular shape. And so when I'm diving deep, I'm thinking, okay, so this would tell me that you're struggling financially. You don't have any support in your life. You don't have anyone supporting you in life, like family, friends, anything. And what was the other thing? He was struggling professionally and being seen for his work and everything. And so I'm telling him all of this, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I just moved here like 6 months ago because I went through a divorce. I'm broke. My job is struggling, and I mean,
Wow.
Wow.
it's easy to see when you can see a floor plan." And so he had actually reached out to me. He's like, this is a cool place, but I don't know if it's working for my life. What about this other option? So I was able to compare, and I'm like, please go with the other option.
Wow.
So he
Mm.
moved.
Wow. That's
But
Wow,
amazing.
I
that's
will say, I
interesting.
don't want to frighten anyone. I'm not going to say you have to remodel
Couldn't
or
leave.
move. 90% of my work, it's free. Like I say, shop your home. If
Yeah.
I encourage you to bring in a water element into a bedroom, look around your home for a blue candle, a rug with some blue in it, or a lamp that has some blue. Surely you have a blue throw somewhere or a blue
Okay.
pillow, right? So we can easily shop our own spaces and not have to spend a lot of money.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But
I
yeah,
and I try to refrain until unless, I feel like they start to ask questions. Like if it's a friend and they're like, well, what would you do if you did something different? Well, I try to refrain a little bit. But I did have one moment that I just could not help myself. My sister-in-law I walked into her house and she had this table in the foyer with a photograph of my nieces when they were real little. Their cute little faces, in this frame. And right next to it was a cactus. So cacti are not good feng shui. They have all these points, right? And we want to stay
yeah,
away from too many pointy objects. And
yeah.
so this pointy, spiky object right next to this sweet little girl's picture, I was like, no, no. And before I could walk past, I had to move. I had to separate.
Good idea.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You
funny.
you felt comfortable being able to do that because she was your sister-in-law. But if it was a stranger, probably not. Or you maybe make a suggestion.
I might make the suggestion if the conversation was going there and I thought they were open. You can
Mm,
tell some people are more open than others, and other people just they want their house the way they want it, and that's okay. That's their home.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is so cool. I love this because I love colors and I think it's so important, colors and smells, because I'm into essential oils too.
Mm,
So I have sandalwood that I made a little like a linen spray in a little bottle, and I spray it on my pillows and on my bed when I go before I go to bed.
I love that.
I love
Yeah,
that.
scent can be so good. I talked about, scent branding my home in lavender, but like you can also have these rituals. I love spritzing a pillow spray on my pillow, right? It's another ritual, it's another routine to cue your body. I'm going to sleep soon.
Mhm.
So I might start misting it like even a half hour before bed just to
Mhm.
start giving myself that scent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And I have your book in my shopping cart.
Oh, yeah. So I have to tell you, on my website, so I'm one of those geeky people. I don't know. I will hunt someone down to get them to sign my book. I have this obsession with getting signed
I
books,
love
just
that.
my personal thing. So I do have an option on my website to order a signed copy of my book, and I'll sign it and bless it and pop it in an envelope to you. But you can also
Nice.
just get it on Amazon or like barnesandnoble.com or wherever you order books.
So cool. That's really nice that you do that.
I think that's sweet. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Wow. That whole new world has just been opened up to me.
Yeah, me too.
So if you want to go deeper, I also do have I recently came out with a workbook that accompanies the book.
Ah,
Oh,
Okay.
great.
And I'm one of those, I love to write. I mean,
I do
sure, I keep
too.
notes in my phone, but I want to doodle, I want to sketch, I want to just scribble, make bulleted lists. And so that's what that is for. I mean, there's questions to answer, there's journal prompts, there's different little cheat sheets to go through your home. So it's just another tool to complement the book. So
How can
That's
that's been
great.
fun to play with.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
how can people order that?
That's on Amazon.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Great.
So if you want to do the combo, I'd go to Amazon and get both. Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So how can people get a hold of you, Lisa?
Yeah. My website is purelivingwithlisamorton.com. And you can find me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and the things at Pure Living with Lisa Morton. My podcast is Feng Shui Living. I want to dive because get into all these different realms of holistic design and everything. I really wanted the podcast to be mostly feng shui focused. And they're, again, quick 20. I think this week's episode was like 10 minutes. I just had my point I wanted to get across. Um,
Nice. Yeah.
it kind of ends when it needs to end.
Mhm.
And when it needs to end. Once in a while I'll have but they're mostly solo episodes with just some easy to dos or just some reflection moments to just kind of open your eyes to, is your home supporting you or not? And here's what you can do.
Yeah. I found you on Buzzsprout.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Buzzsprout is my host. I love them.
Yeah. They're my host too, or our
Great.
host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love the podcasting world. I'm getting ready to start my 4th year in about 2 weeks.
Congrats.
So thanks. It's been so fun, and I meet some of the best people in through podcasting, through interviews, through I interview people, just podcasting events. So I'm just a big fan.
yeah, you have a lot of episodes out, I noticed. It's really
Don't listen to
nice.
the early ones; they're horrible.
Yeah.
You know when you go back and you're like, "Oh boy, that was terrible."
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's such a learning curve of
There
doing
is,
this.
there
Yeah.
is, yeah.
You know, we had to learn pretty quickly on what to do, what not to do, and we're still learning. I mean, we're what, 8 months into it now,
Oh my
something like
gosh, are we
that.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
we're
fun.
I think
relatively new.
December, wasn't it December we did our first one?
December, end of December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
And it keeps going on the upswing, so we're really happy about that. And we
Mhm.
are so blessed to have you here today.
Yeah.
So
This has been
Nice
happy.
to meet you.
great,
Oh my gosh.
wonderful information. Has me thinking about paint colors because I'm in the mood to change
Ooh.
colors again and
Well, you have to keep me posted. Let me know what you choose.
change comforters and
Mm.
duvets.
You know, one
and
thing I've been
that.
loving is chocolate brown has been really big.
I've been
And
noticing
that, I mean,
that.
if you don't want to do a paint color, you could just do like accents and chocolate browns. It's
Yeah.
so earthy and feels so nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to
I
paint.
remember as a kid that Avocado was a very big color,
Oh my
boy.
and amber, and the combination of the two, and I couldn't have hated it more in my bedroom.
That's what the 70s were all about, orange
I
and
know.
green. Oh,
Orange
The
and green.
green shag
ugh.
carpets
Oh
I
my
had the
God.
green shag carpet.
that you had to rake or maybe
Seriously.
raise.
Like I was surprised that there weren't like things growing.
Well, that's what I always think. I'm like, like, who thought that'd be like clean and sanitary
Mm-hmm.
after a while? For it when it's new, great, but good grief.
Oh, my
The human
goodness.
race is on a learning curve too.
I'll say.
To say the least.
Oh my God. Okay. Anything that you would like to say in part to kind of wrap all of this up, Lisa? Any last thing that you would want people to know about you or the work that you do, or any other suggestions?
Really, just love on your home. Bring a bouquet of flowers in and gift it to your home. Bring a new house plant. Do something really nice for your home today, right? That energy from your home, then it emanates out. It fills your body, your family's bodies, any guest bodies, and emanates out even from beyond
Yeah,
there. So
beautiful.
simple.
Well, thank you so much for being
Lovely.
here.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Lisa. It's fun.
All right. So thank you, Lisa, for so much information today and joining us and helping us see our homes in a whole new way. As far as everyone listening, maybe take a look around your own home after this conversation. Is this space supporting you? Is it time to clear out a little energy and make room for something new? So thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, follow, and share with someone who might enjoy this. You can find Metaphysical Hippie Chicks on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and many of your other favorite platforms. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and keep exploring. We love you, we appreciate you, and we will see you next time.